So I'm a huge fan of Elgato capture cards. I've been using them for over 6 years now on this channel, and basically every single Let's Play that you guys have seen within the last 6 years was recorded with some type of Elgato products. They've changed their product line a bit since I started, and every single PC that I have in my house right now, all three of them are loaded with at least one HD60 Pro, the PCI versions. When I travel, I take an HD60 with me if the capture event doesn't provide a capture card for you. Within the last year, the company has absolutely been killing it with their products, starting with the Stream Deck, which I use every single time that I stream on Twitch now. And I'm really excited for the green screen that they announced last week because it's like the perfect solution. All the green screens you find on Amazon, they are cheaply made, they're difficult to store, difficult to set up, and just a gigantic hassle. So I'm really excited to get my hands on the green screen to do a review for you guys. But there's one product that I was overly critical about on social media, and that is the newly announced Cam Link. Because simply put, I just said that it was a very expensive dongle. It is a capture card device that ranges for about $130 depending on where you pick it up. I have to pay a little bit more because I live in Canada and the conversion rate, I think I paid around $160 or so. And I just didn't really understand its purpose and didn't really understand why it was so expensive. And rather than just completely shitting on the product without actually trying it, I decided, despite being critical about it, I'd buy one and do a review for you guys to give you guys my general thoughts and opinions of it. So hopefully this all makes sense. So I decided to pass on doing an unboxing of the Cam Link because it was pretty much a no-frills experience. The device comes in a box like this big. In the inside of the box, you find some Elgato stickers, the actual device itself, as well as a USB 3.0 extender. I highly recommend, if you buy this thing, to always use the 3.0 extender, because if you plug the device directly into the back of your motherboard at the back of your PC, it fits very snugly and comes into contact with the other USBs that you might have plugged into the back of your PC. And as well, if you plug it into the front panel of your computer, it sticks out really far and it's really rigid, so you will most likely wreck or snap off the connector if you plug it directly into the front panel of your PC if you accidentally bump into it. So I always recommend that you use the 3.0 extender that comes with the device, just to make sure that you don't accidentally break it. So what exactly is an Elgato Cam Link, and why does it cost $130? So simply put, it is a device that is geared towards content creators as well as streamers who like to put overlay face cam on all the videos. The majority of people on YouTube as well as Twitch, they all generally use the exact same web camera, the Logitech C920. It is a very versatile webcam. It gives pretty decent quality so long as you're not blowing up the video to full screen, so long as it's a simple overlay into a smaller section over top of the gameplay. It gives pretty good results. But for some of the more intense and professional streamers out there, they all tend to use actual cameras, either a DSLR or a professional camcorder or an action camera such as a GoPro. The problem with using an external camera, though, to hook it up to your PC and get it to be recognized by programs such as OBS or XSplit in order for you to get face cam for your videos, is that it's a little finicky to set up, and it actually requires more investment, more money, because you actually have to purchase a second capture card on top of the first capture card that you already purchased in order to record your PC gameplay or your console gameplay. It's not nearly as versatile as a USB webcam where you just take the USB, plug it into your PC, and it recognizes it automatically as a usable device in either XSplit or OBS. And this is where the Cam Link comes in. The whole purpose of the device is to make this whole process a lot easier. You just take the HDMI cable, plug it into your camcorder, your DSLR, your action camera, take the other end, you plug the HDMI into the Cam Link, and then you take the other end, you plug it into your computer. And it works. In general, the device works flawlessly and it works great. So why is the device so expensive at $130, which just seems to be a little dongle thing that you plug into your PC? And it took a couple minutes of researching online for me to figure it out and kind of understand the justification for it. Is that, simply put, the Cam Link is just a capture card. And if I were to make a direct comparable, it's basically the exact same thing as an HD60 without the HDMI output. If you're a content creator, you're probably telling yourself, I could pay an extra $40 to buy an Elgato HD60S, get the exact same quality and functionality as I would with a Cam Link, and still have the versatility and the option of an HDMI output, which I can hook up to a monitor in the near future if I ever need it. And if you're telling yourself this, you are absolutely right. You could literally just buy another Elgato HD60 and another Elgato HD60S or an AverMedia Live Gamer, plug it into your camera and have it function the exact same way as a Cam Link does. The Elgato Cam Link is kind of in an awkward spot on all the product lines from various capture card companies out there, either from Elgato, AverMedia, and more recently Razer, in that it's geared towards a specific person. And in my personal opinion, there's really only two people in this world that will buy an Elgato Cam Link. The first is a person who literally just wants to use it as a camera and doesn't need the versatility of the HDMI output. And the second are people who run multi-capture card systems. So I myself, I use two capture cards when I record gameplay. I always make two copies just in case one program fails or crashes. I always have a backup because losing footage is the absolute worst thing when you're doing a Let's Play walkthrough on YouTube. The problem with using a dual capture card system in a single rig is that you never, ever, and listen to me despite what the manufacturers tell you, you never want to use two of the exact same capture cards in a single rig. You run into a host of compatibility issues, a bunch of headaches trying to figure out which capture card is supposed to go here to a specific program, and then trying to identify which one is supposed to go to the other program that you're using to record. Despite what AverMedia tells you and despite what Elgato tells you with the specialized drivers for dual capture cards of the same type, it's just a nightmare. And it's just not worth it to satisfy your OCD of having two of the same capture cards nicely, prettily displayed in your PC. I'd recommend personally myself that you always buy capture cards made by separate companies. So for myself, I have my HD60 Pro, which is the PCI capture card that's inside my computer. And if for some reason, which is a rare case, it hasn't happened in years, where the footage has actually failed or become corrupted or the program crashes, I have my backup, which is recorded via OBS, hooked up to my AverMedia capture card, which is an external capture card that sits on my desk, and it just makes the whole workflow a ton easier. So this is where the Cam Link comes in. So despite it being marketed towards a device that you hook up to an external camera, you can use it just as a capture card. So if you're already running a primary capture card with an HDMI output that runs to your monitor or your TV so you can see the actual gameplay on your screen, then you really don't need another HDMI output. So you can purchase the Cam Link as a capture card to save yourself 40 bucks. Once again, in the future, you have less versatility, but if you know for a fact that you'll never need the HDMI output, then go ahead, save yourself 40 bucks and just buy another capture card that doesn't have an HDMI output. So another hidden gem feature that I found out when I was testing and reviewing the Cam Link is that if you're in front of your PC screens, your computer monitors, you can actually use the Cam Link as kind of a pseudo makeshift camera monitor, just in case either your cameras don't have a flip out LCD screen or they're too far away to see if your shot's in focus. What you can do is you can open your recording program, such as the Elgato software, maximize the screen, and you can pretty much see what your camera sees and make sure that your camera's in focus and everything looks correct and everything's well positioned. Sadly, however, unless you install third-party software such as Magic Lantern on your cameras, you can't use the PC footage as a dedicated camera recorder. You'll see right here, if you record directly via the Elgato software, it leaves on the red recording icon. And if I flip the switch on the lens right here and swap it over to auto mode, the tracking box that tracks your face on the HUD in the video overlay is enabled as well. And there's really no way to remove that, once again, unless you install third-party software, which is something that I'm not overly keen on. Another issue that you'll run into if you're trying to use your PC programs to record what your camera sees is that the Cam Link does not pick up audio, at least for me anyways, from my DSLR. So my setup right now is a Canon 80D hooked up to a Rode VideoMic Pro, and that's plugged into the mic port of the camera, and I'm running the HDMI cable from the camera to the Cam Link directly into the PC. And as you can see from the screen right here, I'm not getting any sort of audio levels. So if you want audio, you'll have to get an external recorder. Right now for my backup, I'm using a Zoom H1. And if you're using an external recorder, you'll have to use visual cues, such as like a number system without any without any audio coming at all from your camera, you'll have to use visual cues to kind of sync up the audio to the video. It just makes life a little bit more difficult in the workflow process. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for my review and impressions of the Elgato Cam Link. Once again, as a device dedicated for cameras, hooking up external camera, it's a tough sell, in my personal opinion. And if this were me and I was in the market of buying a device like this, I would just honestly just spend the extra $40 and buy an Elgato HD60 or another device from another company, and just have that option of versatility of an HDMI output in the future. But if you're a person who knows for a fact that you're only going to be using it as a camera source, or you know for a fact that you'll never ever need an HDMI output and you want to save the $40, then I guess then you can kind of warrant the price that you're paying for it. But yeah, it's once again up to consumer choice and what you prefer as a content creator out there. So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys in your purchasing. As always, if you enjoyed the video, drop the video a quick thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time for my next review, which I think will be something that I'm excited for, which is the Elgato green screen. So hopefully I will see you guys then. As always, have a fast day.